Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you happen to be. Welcome to another scene set in Chronicles of Darkness, Vampire Requiem, a Requiem for London. Tonight, in the early hours of the evening, Isabella Morrow, Dr. Isabella Morrow, my apologies, most disrespectful, and Julian T. Goodman have both found themselves recruited alongside two fellows of theirs to look into a potential nest, potential worm's nest. One that involved a fair bit of bloodshed not too long ago. One where even a few Carthian thugs got recruited to assist the Order into looking into it. An abandoned derelict in Norbury, the outer borough of Croydon. Where rumours of people going missing and collapsing on the street have become prevalent. So Isabella and Julian, you... Oh. This is only for auto friends.
There's someone trying to get in.
Sorry, Pete. Auto friends only. Second. Yeah, auto friends only. Yes, Isabella and Julian, you meet up outside the primary chapter house in Lambeth. And you meet up with two other figures. Isabella, you've already met one of these people. The other is a rather distinct-looking man who looks to be in his late 20s. Looks a bit shaggy, but has a lot of occult paraphernalia on their person. It's strange. If you didn't know them to be an Ordo, they would look like a crone. Their get-up is quite stereotypical of a pagan crone. But you both know this person. They're called Karen. They're a gangrel neonate sworn of the Axe. And they'll both be with you. Karen will go up to you. He'll say he'll go to shake both your hands. Good doctor.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you again, Dr. Morrow. Always a pleasure. And you must be Mr. Goodman.
Aye. As he shakes his hand back.
A pleasure. Goodman, you want to roll me wits politics on this guy real quick?
Sure.
I'll give you a plus one dice bonus.
Then I might actually allow me to roll.
Plus 2 dice bonus because of yeah.
Plus 2 or plus 1?
Plus 2.
Okay, that actually allows me to roll because I don't have any politics, and my wits is 1.
I'll set dice roll.
How much does it cost to put a point into a skill?
It's 2 XP.
I should probably put some point into politics, since I keep being forced to use it.
No, I don't recognize him.
Okay. Now you know of this man, and that he's of the he's of the dying light. But other than that, he's you don't really know much of him. So he comes from the same sort of he comes from the same branch as Isabella.
So I hear we have a beach.
No, we have a potential. We have a site worth investigating.
Potential worm's nest. Haunted house or something like that. Guess we'll see.
Hmm.
I'm assuming it's still snowing.
It has not snowed in your area at all. Not in the south of London.
Gotcha.
Pretty much all geological territory exists to the south and the southeast of London. So it's been well out of the way of any bad weather. Most of the bad weather's been on the north side, northwest side. A couple of the inner city boroughs have been hit by it.
It's interesting.
Yeah. The weather's largely kept to the north, but it has lingered.
Interesting.
It's quite cold in your area, though. It is close to freezing. It's only a degree or two out. Difficult to notice for a kindred, of course.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I had gotten access to some research materials on the area. Can I do a quick roll to see if I figured out anything else?
Yeah. Yeah. Roll me. Normally, I'd have people roll contact status because you're looking for information on a specific area of the city. But you're looking for what information specifically are you looking for again?
I think it was. So I think last time when I had the conversation, I had done some research talking to people about like weird stuff happening in the area, what kind of things, and I wanted to sort of cross-reference it with any sort of like historic happenings, like any stories about like just basically trying to figure out how far back this thing potentially goes and what the nature of it is, if that makes sense.
Yeah, make me a wits. Yeah, make me wits streetwise.
Okay.
To find out information about the area.
Why is nothing wanting to roll? Oh, because it's an R.
I'm just gonna call you R. Isabella Moreau now.
The fuck did I do now? Why is that not working?
It might be psychic being mean.
There
There you go.
there we go.
No successes.
Nope, I didn't find shit.
Yeah, you don't really dig much up other than a bit of information about local news, and derelict building doesn't appear to have too much history to it. Prior owner used to be just a well-off salary man from all you hear. and died not too long ago. But other than that, nothing really sticks out.
Okay.
So yeah, unfortunately, you didn't get too much, but yeah.
I'll ask the other two if they have figured out any information about it, what we should expect, since I gave them all the information that I had.
None of these people are particularly street savvy, but I'll have them roll for you. Well, only one of them will roll, because only one of them will have been delivered information prior. Ooh. Kern will speak up and he'll say, I did a bit of digging into the history of the building we're about to visit. Apparently the man who used to live there belonged to some neo-pagan faith group.
That's always fun.
Celebrated all the old festivals, Yule and Samhain and all that.
Ah. It's gonna turn into some Satan worshipping bullshit when we walk in.
Well, I certainly don't think he's worshipping anymore. Died many months ago.
I don't trust anybody dying these days.
There was actually another thing I found out when I looked into the man's death. Apparently he had died from malnutrition. It was a shriveled corpse.
That's not sketchy at all.
No. Apparently the body was found entirely exsanguinated.
Funny how that shit happens.
He stares at Karen as if he's somehow guilty. Karen just narrows his eyes. Not really at him in particular, just the rest of you.
And we're sure he's dead. We're not going to have another Revenant running around.
Well, I can't say for certain. I've heard rumors certain members of my bloodline are able to look into the pasts of places, of people, of death. But I've never seen it in action.
Huh. Not my forte.
I know how to examine a location, but my mastery of my blood more or less ends there. I prefer to do things old school, as they say. There's no beating a good old hard-boiled investigation in my book.
Well, I guess we'll see how this goes then before we decide that.
Yes, let's come and see. Don't know if you have vehicles. I assume you have a vehicle.
I do.
Good.
I stole the circus van. Want to do a drive check?
No, you're fine. Karen will
Okay.
claim shotgun. Karen will get into the back of the van with you, Julian.
Okie dokie.
He rubs his fingers together. Is quite the silent figure. Hasn't said much. And you're all right to Norbury. Takes you a while. But traffic loosens up around the outer boroughs. You start travelling down London Road. And once you get to make your way down past the Norbury rail station, you'll head off down St. Helens onto Norbury Crescent. I start heading off onto a myriad of side roads that quickly turn into a rather neat little grid of rundown residential blocks. One particular house, the one you've been sent to investigate. I assume you park off. You park the car about a road or a block down.
Yeah.
It's very quiet here. It's a residential area, fairly late at night. Not many kindred come here, necessarily because of what you've been researching, but just because there aren't many feeding opportunities. Vessels here are scarce. But if everybody wants to make me a wits composure roll.
Yep.
One success.
Okay. Julian, you notice that there aren't many people outside. There's a person walking their dog, and a middle-aged couple that appear to be walking home.
Three successes.
Isabella, you noticed this too. The way they seem to walk is rather sluggish and a little bit hunched over. The man of his dog actually takes a sit down on a small brick wall to just catch his breath. It's almost like the energy has left these people.
Huh.
Like they're just tired.
Interesting.
Normally, if you're a mortal, you wouldn't pay attention to these things, but as a kindred, you've learned to pay attention to these little ticks in human behavior. It generally lets you know if a kindred has claimed the territory or has been here recently.
So does this just seem like, a kindred feeding type thing, or is this seem different than that?
It resembles a kindred feeding, but you know that kindred wouldn't have much incentive to come here. Again, feeding would be scarce here. There aren't many opportunities. The only opportunity you can see, really, is the man who's walking his dog. He's alone. He'd be an easy target, but he's the only target on the street. Not exactly, not exactly prime feeding ground.
Right. I'm gonna go over to him, actually.
You get out of your vehicle. You can walk in to the man of his dog.
Assuming this is after I've parked, right? Did I see this?
Yes. This is
Okay.
after you've parked.
Okay, so I'll just kind of casually walk over to him. Just be like, "Hey, are you all right?"
Yeah. Just catch him over breath. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. So if I get closer, do I see anything? Like, does he look like he's sick? Does he look like he's paler than normal?
Yeah, you want to roll me wits medicine?
Yeah, I do.
Go raw medicine.
Yeah, I'm helpful. Watch me fail.
Julian, Julian, you and Karen get out of the van. Cohen is nowhere to be seen.
I kind of raised an eyebrow at that. Oh, excuse me. I was gonna also say,
Oh,
since she's
seriously? Nope,
Um,
failed that real hard.
since she's closer,
Ah.
could she smell his blood? Because I believe we can actually smell sicknesses in blood now with our predatory senses. Or does she have to taste it?
No, I don't think you'd be able to see sickness in the blood unless you tasted the blood or had a sample. You'd need to taste the blood to determine any sickness. You wouldn't have to imbibe it, but you would have to taste it. A bloodhound would be able to smell it on people.
Yeah. Okay.
But unless you were a bloodhound, you wouldn't be able to sense it.
Yeah, oh well. I don't see anything.
Yeah, you don't really sense anything on him, really. He just kind of appears a little bit tired. The dog appears largely fine. The dog's quite energetic, actually.
Uh-huh.
It's quite the mismatch.
Huh.
It barks at you very happily. It's a Yorkshire Terrier. It's very energetic.
Uh-huh.
He yips at you. But
I'll just make some kind of real fast, like, small talk. Like, oh, it's been weird weather, huh?
Ah, yeah. Winter blues. It's a bitch. Hate walking, hate taking the dog out in this weather.
Yeah, understand that.
Yeah. I think I got a cold coming on.
It's time of year for it.
Yeah. Best to get out of the way, I guess. I haven't seen you around the neighborhood. Are you visiting a friend or something, or are you
Sort of. I'm actually I'm with the circus that's been in town recently. We're going around putting up flyers and such.
Circus?
Yeah.
Raises an eyebrow.
I don't remember where we live. But
Camden.
yeah, Circus de Macabre. I would pull out like a business card, hand it to him with the times on it. Yeah.
No, my niece in the US fucking loved you guys.
Oh yeah, we travel all over.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got some shows going on a couple times a week now. We're being in London for a bit. But you should come check us out. Bring your friends, bring your family.
Yeah, no, I'll check you guys out. He takes the card.
Well, I hope you feel better.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Well, I should probably get going. Otherwise, if I don't, dog's gonna drag me there. So. And he'll get up and begin walking on his way. When he turns around, begins to walk away, you notice something very unsettling in the back of his neck. There's a little hole there. Like a big mosquito bite.
That's strange. Have I seen anything like that?
No, it's scarred over. It's healing, but it's quite freakish.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask him. Like, I'm sorry to bother you. I'm a doctor. What happened to your neck?
I'm not really sure. I must have scuffed it or something in the shower.
Huh. Does it look like it's infected or anything? Or you said it's scarred over, so does it just look?
No, it's just healing over. Doesn't appear infected, fortunately.
Huh. Could I science roll to try to figure out what it is or what would cause that?
Yeah. Roll me.
I got science biology.
Roll me intelligence science.
Yes. If I fuck this up, I'll be so sad. Two successes. What does the emphasis get you, or the specialty get you? Whatever it's called in this game.
I guess you an extra dice.
Oh, okay. Oh, so that would be one more then. Okay, so two
Okay.
successes.
So it's a little bit inflamed. Which leads you to believe that it's not like as it's very much not a it was very much not a scuff in the shower or anything like it. It doesn't look like that at all. It looks like something's bitten him.
Uh-huh.
The way it's inflamed and the mark, it looks vaguely like a parasitic bite.
Oh.
A bit like a tick that latched onto him but let go. But larger.
So it's like it's not a double bite, it's a single bite?
Single
like
bite.
Proboscis? Okay. Weird. Oh man, if I have to fight a giant mosquito, I'd be so salty.
The worst of all enemies, spiders and mosquitoes. Ugh.
Looks like it looks like a bite of some. I'm saying this, Jones. Like it looks like a bite of some sort. You seen any weird insects around your house or around the area?
I mean, not
Strange
really.
time of year for it, huh?
Yeah. You're aware that if he has been bitten by a tick, there is the potential risk of Lyme disease. Not necessarily very high, but possible.
Do you have ticks in England?
Huh?
Do you have ticks in England?
Yes.
Oh. Yeah.
They're not. They're usually seen in countryside areas, though. This is a residential area, so unless this guy's been out to the countryside, I mean, he's walking a dog. It's entirely possible he's been to a park.
Yeah.
Even then, it's usually more rural areas have ticks.
Right. Yeah.
Wouldn't see many
Keep
of
an
them
eye
in
out.
London.
Right. Yeah, I'll tell him keep an eye on this. If you start to feel really sick, to go to the doctor, because if it's a tick, you'll start to get the rash from it, and you'll start to feel really sick, and that could be bad news.
Yeah. I'll schedule a check with my GP or something. I don't think it's a big deal though. Seems to be just fine. But yeah. Guess I'll see you later. I didn't catch your name.
Isabel.
See you later, Isabel. It was nice meeting you.
You as well.
Hopefully I'll run into you at the circus.
Yeah, definitely. I do the animal show, so come by the menagerie.
A doctor and an animal tamer?
Well, veterinarian. When you combine the two.
Oh.
All right, so I'll go back over to the van.
Yeah, he'll just say goodbye and kind of continue walking his dog. Seems to have gotten a bit of energy back into him. Although, still not on top of the world.
Right.
Karen is just waiting at the van, peacefully keeping watch. Kona's gone. He is vanished.
Where'd he go? What happened to the other guy?
Karen is just by the van, so he's with Julian.
Oh. Alright, so I'll go back over there. So, potentially weird parasitic bug monsters. Or ticks, whichever. I'm going to go ahead and assume the worst.
Karen, he literally huffs and then turns around and then looks to the roof of a nearby building where a couple of pigeons are perched and just snaps his fingers and they're gonna come on over. And do any of you have the Bane? 1 second. Do any of you have the Bane hated by beasts?
No, aggressively not.
I rub my hands for the inevitable day.
No, I'd be so sad.
A couple of pigeons come over, and he begins talking with them. He just starts whistling to them, and how you whistle to how we kind of whistle to animals and birds. And eventually he just sends them away after a couple of minutes.
They have anything good to say?
Not much. They don't normally perch near the ground. Something see that keeps them on the roofs, something that scares them.
Huh.
Probably
not
what
good.
we're looking for.
Pigeons don't scare that easily. So, potentially giant mosquito tick monster that birds are scared of. Great.
Yeah, apparently someone down here that same face mugs people. Local thug.
Huh. That's what they're scared of?
No, it's not what they're... Well... It might be. They didn't outline to me specifically what scared them.
Huh.
But, they keep seeing the same face coming down here and attacking people.
Huh. Interesting.
It's odd. You wouldn't expect much crime around here, and you'd expect at least some variance.
Yeah. Well, it was interesting. The man over there, he had a bite mark, but it wasn't from a kindred. It looked like from some sort of parasitic animal.
I wasn't told much about what we were sent here to face or deal with, other than that we were sent to claim a nest. I was told that the rest of you had information.
I got the location.
Oh, yeah. You had the location, and you had some rumors and hypothesizing from Cone about the thing you were looking for being potentially spiritual in nature.
Right.
But not of what kind.
Mm-hmm. Guess it'll be a surprise. You got anything, Julian?
Julian,
Yes.
What have you been doing while this has been happening?
I've been milling, watching her, and just kind of taking the vibe of this place, how empty yet drained it is, empty and drained it is. And is there any insects around?
Insects?
Mm-hmm.
Let me what's composure roll. It's not very easy to find insects at the dead of night.
Yeah, I'm trying to see those. I know any typical vermin, that particular, because one sign of sickness that they typically actually get around. 'Cause that's easy food.
I'll be right back.
Nope.
No insects that you can see. There's maybe you look up really close to a plant, you can see a spider just sitting comfortably at the center of its web. Its web situated on the stem and the lower side of a leaf of on someone's plant at the front of their garden. But other than that, it's not really that much. There's insects around you, but not many. Nothing. Well, spiders aren't insects, but you know what I mean. There aren't many bugs.
Okay.
It's
And
cold. It's cold and it's night.
Yeah, and the
Eh,
pigeons around seed scarce, right?
Yeah, there isn't too much wildlife. There is some,
Hmm.
but yeah, they kind of all sit above you. Nothing hits the ground.
Hmm. Well, then, if anything, while I'm watching uh, Dr. Moreau just kind of grill that guy, I would like to, if I could, make a could I use the survival check plus your choice of a attribute that kind of just get the general feeling of this area? Like, does this area seem like that there's less water here? The conditioning for a while has been poor, so that's the reason why it's keeping people away.
A lot of that would take some in-depth knowledge of the area. Roll me a wit streetwise to kind of perceive the general atmosphere. Um, if you get an exceptional success, you may have stumbled onto knowledge that or onto some news that would give you a bit more insight.
Okay.
But if you want to check the genuine condition and welfare of the area, that would require a few people who are aware of that sort of information.
Nope.
Okay, yeah, you don't really you don't really know much about Norbury. It's a residential area on the outskirts of London. It's not particularly important, not spoken much of. It appears to be much as how you would expect a residential area to be.
All right, then. If that's the case, instead of just standing here waiting for her to stop talking to somebody, yeah, I will speak to my fellow Ordo and said I'm going to look around for a bit. Yes.
Okay. You can continue to look around the area, or you can head straight towards the area you were.
No, I'm not going to go to the rendezvous point. I'm going to more just kind of yonder and wander, just look around, be on the streets. Because notice if he really is the only man, because this side of town, it's not like a low income area, right?
Outer boroughs tend to have less investment in them than the inner city. Um, there's much less nightlife. There's less money in the local economy. Um,
And crime
and
rate is, I'm assuming it's average, maybe a bit higher here.
it's run down. It's a bit. You could imagine it, but you don't really have any statistics or data or evidence to
No, I'm
suggest
just
one way or
thinking
the
of
other.
just generals at this point. 'Cause, like, what would make people stay inside? I was like, nightlife or not, you always see more than just one person because you typically see maybe two, three people. See more cars moving around. The fact this place feels so barren is a bit weird. It is cold, so that did kind of be keeping people in, but something feels off
Yeah,
about this place. And the fact there's not outside of a few birds, not a lot of animal life either. So it's just more kind of just going around the block, just seeing what's around.
yeah. There's really not much here or people on the street. When you as you go around the block and you kind of circle it fully, um, you notice kind of in the gutter of one of the roads. Um, a couple dead birds.
Mm.
On the other side of the block, you kind of notice half out of the gutter, half out of the sewer drain. There's a shriveled corpse of a rat. Looks like it's been there for a while. Um,
And the birds aren't ran over, so it's not like a bird that got unlucky and got hit by a car.
um, no, it doesn't look like it hasn't. Doesn't look like it's been run over. It doesn't like a cat got to them either. It hasn't been ripped open or anything like that. Looks shriveled, drained.
Mm. Intelligence animal can to look at the or would it be a different type of role? To kind of just look at the body.
Um, when you check the body, you notice has but all the two birds, they have holes in their backs. Roll me wits composure.
And again. Two successes.
Okay. You notice not very far, like barely more than a meter from where these two birds were, as a bench, and you can spot in the darkness with your enhanced kindred senses. You can spot some birdseed. Looks fairly recent, like it layers the ground, hasn't been blown away. It's maybe been there a few hours.
Did it leave a trail or it just seemed to be in this spot?
It just seems to be in this spot.
I take note of this as I circle back to where Dr. Moreau is. And I would walk next to her, despite her talking to this man, and tap her on the shoulder and say, I think I noticed something over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And he kind of gestures his head into that direction.
I'll go over there with you.
He points out the two bird bodies and a area where there was apparently let out a bird seed.
Huh. Like it was put there?
No, it seems weird that as he points out to the birds, they seem to be drained of something.
Huh.
And
Do they look like they... Can I see the same like puncture wounds on them that I saw on that guy?
Yep.
Well, that tracks at least.
There's a pattern.
I've seen some pretty big ticks in my life, but none of them are big enough to drain a bird of all of its blood. And so it's probably the same thing that killed the guy that owned the building.
Didn't we have a problem? Let's see. We should maybe circle around this place before we get to our destination.
So let me look at something. I'm going to pull out some gloves because I still have the first aid kit on me. I'll pull out some gloves and a knife, and I'm going to cut one of the birds, like cut it open.
Okay.
Just to see if like all the blood is drained out, all the fluid, like...
All right. You
I just
succeeded
want
in
to
your
look...
medical check before, so I'm not going to make you roll now. You kind of cleanly slice open the bird. It's a pretty disgusting display. But the corpse of the bird is relatively fresh. Hasn't been here. This corpse hasn't been here for any longer than maybe 24 hours at most. There is a distinct lack of blood and bleeding. In fact, examining it more closely with your kindred senses, You smell next to no blood, both on or within this bird corpse.
It's thorough, whatever it is.
Not that thorough. It left a pattern.
A pattern?
Yes, it's eating everything.
Yeah.
So it's
So
not
it's
just
hungry, but it's not kindred.
There are many supernaturals in this world.
Can I do an occult intelligence to see if I know of any other like creatures that would do this
Roll
in this
me-
one?
Yeah, the information you have access to will be very, very generalized, and most of it will just be simple rumor or theory, but you can roll.
So, just check. Nope. Yeah, I got nothing. Well, at least we have. Yeah, I don't know.
Sorry. Yeah, you
No, I was
can't, you
gonna
can't
say.
think of anything.
Yeah. Well, at least we have something of an idea of what we're looking at. I would hope the fact that it's going after birds would mean it's not terribly large? Question mark?
Or it could be
Knock on wood? Huh?
Or it could be desperate. And he points out to the rat in the gutters.
Yeah. But I mean, you'd think that if it was something like larger than person size, it wouldn't waste its time with something that small. And it would be a lot more noticeable. But
Julian shakes his head. I know what being hungry is like. When you're hungry enough, anything matters.
fair. Well, we gotta jump into this pool or can't just stick around here all day.
Speaking of
No.
which, Isabella, you get a text from Cohen. It says, "You really should check out this house. There's quite a lot here. It's very fascinating."
Okay. Well, that's where he went. Guess let's go.
Yeah. Julian nods and will follow her.
He sends you another text as well. Someone's been here.
Interesting. I'll start heading over to the house.
Ken will come with you. He stays relatively close to you, Isabella. He gives Julian some distance. And would you like me to roll? Would you like? Would you like to roll me? Not would you like me to? Would you like to roll me? Would you like me to give you all a bunch of experience?
I mean, yes.
I mean, obviously, all of it, all of the XP for the auto friends. Yeah, would you just like to roll me what's it called?
Sure. Nope. Not my night.
Oh, you're having a really bad night.
Yeah. Except for that one medical check. That was good at least.
As it turns out, you are good at the medicine. Neither of you. Okay.
Dates are hard to get.
Okay. Then you approach the house. Front door's already open. Would have a front garden, but it's all overgrown. It's one of the nicer. It would have been one of the nicer looking houses in the area, but it's there because it's been abandoned for so long, or at least for the past few months. With no looking after it, detritus and decay and entropy has very much caught up with this place.
Hmm.
You walk inside. There is it's not really much. There's a very small porch, with damp, crumbling brick and humid window with dirt and grime forming around the fringes. When you make your way through, there's a corridor that leads over. There's a stairway just off to the left side of it. The end of the right of the corridor leads into the living room. The end leads to a kitchen. And the wallpaper is just sort of slowly peeling off as damp building up. Floors getting dirty. Pictures of kind of generic artwork in a very naturalistic style. And in the living room, you can see Cohen. He's got a notepad out and he's seems to be documenting his surroundings. What you see before you, the living room is actually quite large. It could be enough to hold like you could easily fit a dozen or so people in here. And the smell of very old dry blood begins to waft through the air. You have what appears to be some sort of ritual circle in the living room. It appears to have some sort of vague incantation written into it. You can roll me intelligence academics to figure out the culture and the culture and the style. There is rotted food here, mainly fruit, but also some meat. It stinks. It is absolutely disgusting.
Left in a hurry.
Strangely enough, it has none of. It has not been. It has not been touched. Like no vermin or animals or insects have come in to claim it.
I think the dice. Oh, there it goes. I'm gonna go ahead and take that first one.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
How dare you?
It wasn't working. I mean, I wouldn't take the first one anyway.
Oh, you almost get an exception. I feel bad considering how unlucky.
Wait, if I
you
reroll
are.
these and they're good, isn't that?
Come on.
Come on, fucking dice bot. I mean, you're pretty. Please roll me more dice.
Give dice. Plus, give 8s. Psychic is like, I'll meet you at 7. Fuck!
Did it roll?
No,
Can you
still
see it?
lagging.
I'd say
If
it worked
not,
when I did.
I'll roll on my ST dice roller. there's a lot of food. There's also bone. Bone and blood. That forms up this circle.
Hmm.
In fact, the sort of, I guess you could say, the bones form the actual shape of the circle, and the meat and the fruit, and the vegetables, placed on the fringes just outside the sort of the skeletal circumference that makes up this circle.
It's weird.
The incantation is written inside the circle as opposed
There we go.
to
One more success, so 4 successes.
4 successes. Not quite an exceptional.
Damn.
Hmm.
It appears to be it appears to be some very sloppy attempt at a Southern Celtic language.
Huh.
Doesn't appear particularly accurate. You imagine if you did a bit of if you actually work to translate this, just by how it's written down now, you could tell it would probably translate very, very roughly and poorly. Certainly not a professional piece of work at all.
Teenagers.
Yeah, this is certainly not. This is certainly not someone who is particularly well educated in what they were doing. And you can, guessing from the circle, it appears to be some sort of attempt at some sort of act of faith. It's, again, it doesn't really, given what you know about ancient faiths and belief systems, you imagine this is very much improvisational. It doesn't really conform.
So this looks like a bunch of girls at a sleepover party, is what you're saying.
In a sense, it's very much someone who adopted a neo-pagan belief system that wasn't particularly well educated on the older belief system they were expanding upon and modernizing. Very much more modern belief systems that are truer to form and much more complex and faithful to Celtic beliefs than this.
Adorable.
Given the food, it appears to be an
Trying to
act
summon
of,
some fairies.
appears to be, no, you think it's actually it's a tribute for whoever did this. It would be for their well-being. I guess you could say if it were in the ancient world, this would vaguely resemble like a sacrifice for a bountiful harvest. It's sort of like that. This person is requesting some sort of bounty,
Right.
wealth, food, shelter, some sort of tangible gain. And is but not really well versed on everything else.
Gotcha.
That's what it appears to be from the from what you immediately gather. There are various small idols that are dedicated to neo-pagan spirits. is crystal wind chimes by sort of sliding glass doors that lead outside to the overgrown back garden. Very very new agey. The crystal wind chimes themselves look like cheap knockoffs. Either this person did genuine believe and was getting ripped off, or there were the person doing the ripping off.
Fun hobby.
Mm.
Looking at the objects, do any of them look legit? Like they might have stumbled on something that was real in all of their like Hot Topic shopping?
The bones are real. It's a little bit unsettling, given how harmless everything else looks.
Do they look like human bones or animal bones?
The blood smells human.
Ugh.
The bones, well, you can roll me intelligence medicine on that. Julian, you can roll me wits plus composure as well.
Yeah, I can roll medicine too.
Oh shit! That's 5 successes.
Oh, you get an exceptional success. Okay.
Yay! I didn't suck at something. Hooray!
So you look at the bones. Each of the bones are different, and they comprise a different part of a human body. In their totality, they all represent a bone of a specific part of the human body. You wouldn't be able to construct a human out of this, but you would be able to construct.
So there's like a femur, a arm bone, a rib, like that.
In a sense, you'd be able to sort of get the skeleton of a skeleton, if you understand what I mean. You'd have a basic building. You would have a basic building blocks for every part of the human body here.
Huh.
The blood smells old, months old. You're not sure if you could even get anything from it at this point. It's so far gone. It's got a dark brown. It's completely deoxidized. The bones themselves have inscriptions written onto them, which are in the same sloppy Celtic language that you saw written in the middle of the circle. The bones would appear to be the bones from people that, when you kind of examine them, cut them open a bit, utilize some of your medical tools, maybe your first aid tools, with maybe some minor with some tools that perhaps be better suited for an autopsy than for first aid.
Gotta be prepared.
These people all died healthy.
Huh. So they all look like they're from different people?
Yes, they appear to be from different people, and a lot of them also appear quite old. The bones.
Right. Like the bones have been there for a long time, or they came from people that were old?
The bones have been around for a long time, so you'd imagine somebody went grave robbing. They probably didn't kill anyone.
Huh. Is there any graveyards nearby?
Not in this area, no. So this person probably went pretty far out of their way, or had some contact who could have done the grave robbery for them.
So I'll kind of, to everybody else, I'll kind of describe everything that you're saying as I'm going through the bones and telling them everything that you said. And
bones appear to be very healthy. Like the people who died here would have been in good health when they died. Like these
Huh.
bones are of a healthy size. The marrow is indicates the people that who these bones would have been taken on um, would have been quite fit. Some of them maybe unfit, but not unhealthy, like not sick, maybe
Right.
fat
So it
or
looks like
overweight.
this guy was very selective, or whoever it was very selective. Like they
Yes, there
went
was
out of their way
definitely
to, because like if you're going through a graveyard, you're just picking random bones here, so you're going to find people that are sick and old. So like this guy was very selective in the people
they were
that
looking
he
for people.
chose.
Yeah, they were looking for people that were healthy and or overweight. People that were people that were never people that were not deprived or deficient
Hmm.
um, in a particular sense. No people who would have suffered from hunger or may have been diabetic or
This guy's literally
had
eating the rich.
yeah had problems with their bone structure, a thing like that. Um,
Huh.
you imagine that may be a part of what they were trying to do.
Right.
Um,
It seems like if they were to know this information, like if these bones are old, like had been dead for a while, and the person doing this knew enough about each of these corpses to know which ones were, relatively healthy and young when they died, then this guy would have had to have some access to some sort of records, whether they were like coroner reports or historic reports or like hospital records. Like they would know what they were looking for, because you couldn't necessarily tell that from just like a gravestone. This is me. I'm saying this out loud, and I'm just kind of thinking out loud as well.
Goodman would respond, and whoever's also doing this is definitely a believer. That or mad.
Well,
this place
from
is positively filled with energy.
really,
Something definitely happened here. You can't feel it?
not my forte. I mean, I could feel that somebody that had a tedious grasp on something worked very, very hard to get some sort of an outcome.
Oh, they certainly did. He, Karen, sorry, has sort of headed towards the glass doors and just kind of stands at the back and watches over you. Watches over you all. He has taken out. He has his hands on a knife that he's got out. It's quite thick. It's like a thick tanto knife. This is no butter knife. This is something that could easily lop someone's head off with enough force. And he looks he looks quite intense. Like before, he was just sort of silent and a bit gruff, but now he looks suspicious. He's looking around. He looks like his hackles are raised.
Any of those look familiar?
No, other than that, it was sloppy work.
Yeah. I don't think it's any. It doesn't look like it's any established belief system. It looks like it's just a combination of Barnes and Noble beginner's guide to occult shit, but intense enough that they believe something into existence.
Looks like a poor attempted Wicca.
Yeah. I mean, I was a teenager once, but this shit's real excessive.
He his eyes dart back and forth between. His head doesn't move. His body doesn't really move. Rather, you can see his eyes shift back and forth intermittently between the circle and the doorway that you just walked through. He doesn't really say much outside of that. Kern will just continue. Yeah, something definitely did happen here. They definitely did something. That much is obvious. I could examine some of these items, I suppose. I could examine the circle. Would one of you could you all keep an eye on me as I do so?
Yeah.
Yes, I'd prefer not to. That's why I waited for you all. It's don't really know what's here, but this place still has the spark of life to it, so it may still be of interest to something or another. Could even be here, for all we know.
Very pot. Yeah, and if it's not here currently, it could very well be coming back here at some point.
Julia looks at him, or kind of doesn't move directly on top of him, but he gets closer to him and kind of looks 180 around him from the position that he's in.
Yeah, do you want to both of you want to roll me a quick wits composure roll, plus your blood potency, as Cohen is going to examine the circle and he's going to use a certain ability.
Alrighty. Damn this dice roller.
It really doesn't like you guys today.
Oh shit, it likes me.
I think she worked out.
Yo, that's a 5 and 3 10s.
Oh, nice. Roll those 3 10s again. I'll give you all the things.
One more success. So that's 6 successes.
6 successes. That is stunning. Great job. So,
Good job, sidekick.
you notice the scent of old blood has been wafting through here for a while now, and initially you were kind of focused on the bone circle, and the circle itself, where there was quite a bit of blood, particularly in the middle of it. These all just rest on a standard floor, by the way, just a carpet, nothing significant. But as you sort of...
So is the circle drawn into the carpet?
Yes, it's kind of cut into it. With
Okay.
the bones sort of forming the circle itself, and then the sort of what would appear to be the tribute on the outside of it.
Okay.
But you smell the blood, and it's very old, or it's at least months old. But it's not just resting on the bones. You begin to smell a growing amount of it on the walls, on the rest of the carpet, in the corridor. A lot of this place is utterly caked in blood. It's just so old.
Can you see any? Like, am I seeing it or am I just smelling it?
Your kindred senses allow you to perceive it vaguely. You can see blood to a degree that no human could possibly ever perceive it. You could see blood on a near microscopic level if you wish to, or if you had that, if you rolled enough successes.
So does it seem like there was a whole lot of this was like bloodbath and then it was cleaned up, but there's still a lot of it left?
The blood on the walls, and then the carpet, and then the hallway. It is in no way organized. It's not ritualistic. There was no artistry to this. It's very much splattered all over. Total gorge of blood. Although much of it has been, there is you would imagine some of it's been cleaned up. It looks like there was a vague attempt. You can only really perceive this because of your your kindred senses. A human, an intuitive human or a forensics team would probably be able to pick up similar information, but not to the same degree you would. It's whatever happened here resulted in a lot of people dying very quickly.
Yikes. Does it seem like human blood or kindred blood?
Definitely human blood.
Okay, so it's not from those chuckle fucks who died investigating it the last time.
No. You know that kindred blood tends to lose its potency after a while.
Right. Well, a lot of people died.
You imagine if there was kindred blood here, it's probably too diluted by the sheer amount of dried human blood that has since dried into the floor, and onto the now peeling wallpaper and the like. You could always see it. It's just surprising you just actually how much of it there was that you can't see.
Does it seem like it's underneath the wallpaper? Like if I go over to some of the wallpaper and peel it off a little bit.
Some of the blood appears to be, if you peel some of it off, like some of the blood has kind of dried underneath the wallpaper. There's definitely enough blood for it to kind of soak into a lot of the wallpaper.
Okay. So I mean, I'm really just trying to establish like timeline. Did this something happen and then they tried to cover it up with wallpaper, or is it like
was the wallpaper? With your exceptional success, you can tell that the wallpaper was there prior to the blood. There was just enough blood for it to soak into the wallpaper.
Okay.
And this, the blood smells different from those on the bones and in the circle. That blood smells older. The blood here is more recent, but not by much. You would imagine that blood was spilt within the circle, and then the walls were caked in blood.
Ugh.
There was an action, and then there was some sort of response that bloodied the room.
Huh. A lot of people died here. Again, I'll kind of explain all this to everybody. Well, somebody was not wearing their fucking around pants when they did this.
Sounds like to me that something did happen.
I'd say.
What? I only heard rumors of entities of this nature. I've never actually encountered one. The idea of demons is, or as I felt metaphysically, to actually think of a creature to be something that actually is, that is disturbing.
Oh. Well, whatever it is, or whoever it is, it's dangerous, and we need to find it.
Then I'm surprised we don't smell the blood here. He should leave a trail.
There's too much blood. It's everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the place is positively caked in it. I'm going to check the kitchen.
What did you see?
Else in there. Nothing, that's why I'm going to check it. When Karen leaves, Cohen actually comes out of his trance. He's been laying his hands on the circle the entire time. And then he pulls his hands off and shivers. Oh, well, that was messy.
Seems like it was.
Some fools managed to summon themselves some sort of spirit.
Great. Figured as much. I hate when idiots succeed at things.
idiotic it was. It seemed to take offense at what happened.
Huh. So I wonder if the blood is of the people that did the ritual.
I can only imagine, given that's more or less how my little tour into the past ended.
Yeesh.
I don't know what happened with the spirit, though.
Could a spirit, so some sort of a parasitic entity, could that be a spirit? Like, could the spirit be this parasite that's feeding on things in the neighborhood?
Spirits cannot easily exist in our world. It's unlikely it would be able to remain here unless it found something to anchor itself. This normally involves a person or an animal.
Like, it's possessing it?
Very much so.
Huh.
As
It's not-
Julian looks around kind of the room, the building, he responds, it's probably a able victim, the one that it spared compared to everything else.
That would be the most likely conclusion. It killed everybody but one and possessed the other. But this is... I'm no expert, so please take my words with a grain of salt. I'll see if I can contact a more educated authority on this matter, but from what I recall, a spirit possession is not as simple as simply shifting into one's body. It is something that takes time. The mortal will fights back. Much like how, while mortals are very pliable to us and our abilities, the will still resists, regardless of how strong or weak it is.
That is true, but how shall I put this? More than likely, from the damage that we saw, these mortals were vulnerable.
So would the blood be how it sustains itself, how it keeps this entity in check? Or how the entity keeps the host in check? Mostly I'm just hoping this is just one problem and not two separate problems.
I'm not sure I can say. I am not particularly educated on the topic of spiritual entities, but it would be unusual. Spirits do not require sustenance in the same way that we do. They do have behavioral patterns, though. Maybe this is a part of that behavioral pattern as opposed to a means to sustain itself.
To suck
Maybe.
blood from things?
Maybe.
So I wonder if it's done artificially, though. Like, I mean, it looks like it come from the blood being sucked from the animals and from the people. It looked like it came from some sort of proboscis, but it could just as easily be a device they're using to do this.
Possibly. I suppose it depends on what they're attached to, what they're fettered to or possessing. They may use implements and tools. Or they may be altering that which they're anchored to. Difficult to say.
Yeah.
But
Could it possess it? Sorry, what?
Whatever it is decimating this town, this part of town.
I've noticed it's definitely leaving its impact in some way or another. Not to the point of ruin. That's what interests me the most. There is a visible impact on this town, but it is somewhat muted.
It's not as bad as it could be, true, but
It's flying under the radar for now, but that's not to say eventually people are going to start asking questions.
Yes, and
Or it's
Invictus will start
moving.
asking questions, and then they're going to send a hit squad down, and, well, then we're going to lose both the Worm's Nest and our credibility.
Yeah. I mean, we know that at least one Carthian knows about this. So,
Probably the one reason why the Invictus hasn't come down yet.
yeah. I would doubt, I don't know if he would have told the other Carthians, but I know he wouldn't have told the Invictus. So there's that at least.
Excellent. Then at least we know we have a bit of time.
Yeah.
Which, as Vadis said, everybody hears the shattering of glass and the sound of the clanging of metal hitting the floor in the kitchen.
Great. Oh, did that other guy go back there?
Yeah.
yes.
Great.
And you hear a fur roar. Sounds like a kindred letting that beast out.
Well, that's cool.
What you gonna do?
I'm gonna go
Well,
see what's
I
going
guess
on
we
in the
go.
kitchen and probably pop that beast out. I'm gonna see what's out there first.
When you pop your head around, you see Karen being impaled by what would appear to be a large insectoid-like like leg, but it's a part of a human's arm.
Why?
You barely get a second to see them, but they've got they've got large eyes, distinctly inhuman, somewhat. It's sort of this strange half and half between human eyes and insectoid eyes. Like they have pupils and an iris, but they're large and bulbous.
Does this look like The Fly
A little
of the
bit.
movie The Fly?
A little bit, but they still look largely humanoid. It's largely the eyes. You can still see they have human teeth, but it's like their gums have been pulled back. It looks excruciating, like their gums are torn open, and these two very large mandibles exist in the place where where the incisors would be. One of the man's arms is replaced with an appendage that is currently impaling Karen, who has grown claws.
Well, that's awful. I'm gonna go ahead and stir that beast.
Before you do that, it's gonna throw Karen at you.
Fuck.
It looks like an otherwise normal human, apart from those very obvious insectoid-like features. So it's going to make a quick roll. Is she going to check what it can do? Because there's stuff it can do. Oh boy, there's stuff it can do. I'm not a nice person. Okay, what's your defense?
Give me a second. Three.
Okay. I'm just gonna lose 3 dice. Well, it misses you.
Well, that's good.
But, you quickly shift into the doorway between the living room and the corridor. It ends up throwing Kern right out, and pretty far. It appears very, very strong, physically speaking. And additional legs begin to kind of sprout from its back.
Oh my god, stop.
And they burst, like blood just sort of splatters all over the kitchen and the hall. The flesh and bone is torn apart to make way for these other legs that it begins to use to start attaching itself to the wall and begins moving towards you.
Okay, fuck it.
Karen is sort of dragging himself to his feet. Despite his supernatural endurance, he appears to have taken quite a bit of damage.
When I see Karen get thrown to the door, then I see the doctor, for some reason, sticking her head out. He kind of
Mosquito monster. Mosquito monster, mosquito monster, mosquito monster, mosquito monster, mosquito monster.
And he sees the thing. It's like, oh. And he seems to be almost involuntary. He seems to be kind of pushing Isabel behind him and goes,
Don't you push me behind you. I'm attack this dumb thing.
Like, I was specifically asked to make sure nothing happened to you.
And I was specifically shut up. No, I'm straight up attacking this thing.
Okay. So, yeah, roll initiative. I'm gonna just label this thing as bug monster in the notepad.
Hooray!
Monster A there.
No, he's gonna be called Bug Boy. Fortunately for you, his initiative is rather poor.
Wait, is it? Oh, it's a D10 plus your modifier, right?
That's plus composure, yeah.
Oh, right.
I will put it in the chat.
Oh shit! Do 10s explode, or is it just? If I roll the 10, do I roll it again, or is it just 10 plus my
it's just
modifier?
10 plus yeah, you don't re-roll initiative.
Okay. And can we say, because I said I had popped the beast before, so could that have happened before initiative? Or frenzy, or
yes.
whatever.
Yes,
Okay.
that's absolutely fine. So, what is everybody's initiative?
16.
Yep, it's in the chat.
Nice. Oh, in the chat. Okay, we were both going before this thing, which is good. And Kern won't be participating. He has the power to just disappear and run away, which he's very good at doing.
What the
Because
fuck?
Maquette are very good at doing that. So
Whose
he
idea
is
was to
bugging
bring the
out.
maquette?
The Maquette's here to study and learn and observe.
I mean, so am I,
Maquettes
but I'm
do.
about to. I'm
But
about
we're
to.
gay girl. We have to hit things eventually.
Yeah, that's one of the acts that wants to fight. You should be joining Cohen in the glorious act of not getting mutilated by angry bug people.
I had a good run.
You had it. It was an attempt was made. Kern will enter combat next turn. He's knocked down and is currently recuperating from the
Where's the other guy?
thrashing he just got.
No, he left.
Oh, Cohen has vanished.
Okay, so it's Karen and Cohen are the two other guys.
Karen and Cohen, yeah.
Okay.
There you go. Illiteracy is great. So this horrible bleeding half-human monster is rapidly approaching you with multiple appendages through which to just rip your body apart. And you can actually see this person has like a ragged. The person is like their clothing is quite ragged. It's like a white office shirt that's been worn for 48 hours or more. And again, like black trousers that have that are being torn, and you notice like the shirt, it's like it's getting strained, it's like the chest of this thing is getting a bit larger. It's like they're wearing like 4 layers underneath this. It's like whatever it's covering is very hard. Like there's a very sort of rigid shape that the shirt is covering. Sorry, I'm interrupting you. Please continue.
No, that's fine. No, I'm just waiting to attack it because I know this is a stupid idea, but I feel like it's coming at me. Anyway. So is there a part of it like so these like appendages, are they coming out of like the leg area, chest area? Essentially what I want to do is I want to go for its head and like claw bite and try to do damage to the part that looks the most relatively vulnerable.
Its face looks like the most vulnerable, but you can see like from its torso and up, like the face is becoming more stiff and tense, and it's like the bones. It's like the cheek plates are growing larger and sort of straining against the skin.
Yep, that's terrible.
It's almost like a good way to put it would be it's almost like some sort of carapace exists directly underneath the skin layer.
Uh-huh.
But yes, continue. You gonna hit it?
Yeah.
Alright. I believe.
Okay,
So
I'm
you
gonna use
stirring the
blood
beast,
and huh?
Are you entering frenzy or are you just spending blood?
I entered frenzy. I can't spend willpower, but I can spend blood when I'm in frenzy.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna spend blood, and then I get a bonus to strength in frenzy.
Blood points gives a bonus to all physical stats equal to your blood potency. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Okay, so is it strength and
Strength,
brawling? We
dexterity,
both get
and-
one.
Not your skill, just your attributes.
Okay. All right. So +1 strength, and then 3 for the blood pool.
And you stir the beast. So what did you tell the beast to do? Because you're technically in frenzy. You just
Kill it.
okay.
Okay. So does it have a defense that I'm would reduce or
Its defense is 2.
okay, so it's -2.
That's -2 dice.
Okay, so that would be 2, 4, 5, 8. So 6. I'm rolling. Please don't fuck it up. 2 successes.
Okay, you go to strike it, and you strike it quite hard, but when your fist connects, it's like hitting a steel girder.
Okay, I'm using claws. Same thing if I'm trying to use claws.
Let's see. I think that would take, if you'd need, in order to gain acquiring a predatory aspect like that, you're gonna need to spend blood. So you spent blood to get the extra dice. So you need to. Yeah. So it would be one or the other.
Oh, okay.
So you can go claws next turn. It's fine. The beast loves additional implements to murder people with.
Yeah.
No, you go to hit it, and if anything, it just kind of fractures your knuckles.
Ow. Okay. Noted.
It is, yeah, that whatever exists underneath the skin like that, that is as hard as iron. It hisses at you.
Great.
And goes to say something, but we go to Julian first.
Alrighty. I see the evil thingy. I hit the evil thingy. Or really just monster thingy. Don't know if this thing is evil or not. Doesn't matter. I will spend a point of V10 to increase my physical action by 3.
Mm-hmm.
And just to be sure. And yeah, I'm gonna do this stupid thing, and I'm going to grapple it.
Okay. That's a contested strength roll check.
I got 3. And you roll the 2 10s. Yep, I got 3.
Okay. And you just hit it with your fists?
No, I'm grappling it.
Oh, you're grappling it. Okay, sorry. Yeah, you said grapple. What am I doing? I'm phasing out. Well, it gets 4. I was actually quite lucky of it. So you go to grapple it, but it's very hard to grapple. Like, it has its appendages kind of cling to the wall, not really giving you a good kind of a clean way to wrap your arms around it. And it pushes you off with 2 of its appendages. It has the choice between attacking. One of you. I'm actually just going to roll to see which one of you it attacks. 1 for Isabella, 2 for Julian. Okay, he's going to hit you, Julian. What's your
Oh, my defense is 1.
The defense is 1.
Yes.
Okay.
It has to take the lower of my dex or wits, and my wits is 1.
Okay. It rams its one of its appendages, which again look more like kind of bony insect legs, or like insect legs of a carapace. around them. It's kind of like beetle legs in a way. Does exactly what it did to Karen, and I actually forgot it has a certain advantage. It gets to roll more dice. Oh, that's not good. Okay. It slams its appendage right through you, and does 5 bashing damage to you.
Ark. I just healed this off. Why? Am I impaled, or did he just impale me and pull out his limb?
It impels you and then tosses you to the side. You smash into the wall and kind of bounce off it. The wall cracks.
And since I took so much damage at once, would that put me in frenzy, or put me risk of frenzy?
No, it's not going to put you. What blood are you at? Sorry.
I'm at blood 5.
Okay, you're not at risk of frenzy yet.
Okay.
It hisses at you. My home, my dinner plate. And yeah, Isabella, you're still in frenzy.
Yep, sure am.
It's not the best place to be in right now.
Sure isn't. I'm gonna pop my claws out and see if that works.
Okay, it's gonna help.
So okay, so then that would be 4.
Yes. Also, Karen needs to roll to enter combat because he wants to help you guys.
Yeah. Ooh, 2 successes and a 10. Oh, another 10. Oh, I might not die right now.
You might not die. I mean, it's okay. Julian's currently the one dying. The honorable
Oh my God!
sworn
Oh
of
my
the
God!
axe.
Oh wait, I just wrote it. Wait, did I have to put that 1 there? Oh no, I didn't. Okay.
1, 2, 3,
All right.
4.
So that's at 4 now.
That's it for now. Oh baby. Oh, you can. I believe.
Oh my God! Yes.
That's
5
1, 2,
successes.
3, 4, 5. Plus 1 from claws is 6. So do you want the good news or the bad news?
Let's start with the good news.
You do damage to it.
Okay, what's the
You
bad
rip
news?
across its shirt, you rip across its flesh, and scar the carapace existing underneath the flesh. You do harm it. The bad news is that you only deal a single lethal to it.
Oh my God.
Julian, do you want to roll me Wits Occult real quick? I don't think you're suffering under any wound penalties right now, are you? How much ag do you have? I should really have a health tracker. I do have a health tracker for people. I put it in the announcements. I'm currently at 5 bashing. So I think you still have enough health to not suffer from wound penalties, I think. Unless you have pre-existing damage. But roll me Wits Occult real quick.
Oh, yeah, I rolled it. I know nothing. So the dash floor is against me today.
Okay, that's fine. You're
Well,
not
you say
really
that
sure
now.
why that attack did so little damage because she scarred that. That was a really strong attack. Like, you know, Gangrel Claws, that should have ripped right through it. Like, that carapace is hard, but she tore through it, and it appears barely affected. There's something off about it, but you can't put two and two together in the middle of combat. It's too heated. Fortunately, it's Karen's turn.
Oh, please don't fuck it up.
No, he's is sworn. He's a sworn of the axe, which means he's sworn to protect the two people that he was literally sent here to protect. Fortunately, he has a skill set very useful when it comes to extracting people from situations that they really shouldn't be in, including himself. I'm actually just going to double check to see what this specifically does. Because he's using a very unique trick. Nope. Yes. Yes. Okay. What's your defense, Isabella, too? I believe it is.
Yeah.
Oh, no, all your physical stats go up by 1 as well, so you get an additional point of defense when in frenzy.
Okay, so it's 3.
3. That's good. Alright. Hopefully he doesn't fuck this up. Actually, he's going to do a thing to make it so that he's less likely to fuck it up. Ah, thank God. So in a great act of mental strength, Karen lifts himself up, a hole still just a straight hole in his body. Utters something in a language you don't understand. Holds out his hand down the hallway and then pulls back with it, and Isabella is just yanked back by invisible force and is completely thrown out of the house.
What the fuck?
Yo, but I didn't know we had telekinesis in this game.
Yeah, isn't it great? And he's going to shout, "Out, out, out!"
Fine.
You're in frenzy. You don't care. You want to eat. You want to eat the mean bug man.
Correct. I'm wearing it down.
It's like
It's a willpower to break frenzy, isn't it?
language merit frenzy.
You're at a -2 to break out of your frenzy because you didn't finish your goal, though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But it's still willpower, isn't it?
You can roll to get out of it though, because he's physically ripping you away from your goal.
But what do I roll? Is it a willpower roll?
Yeah, we'll run Julian's turn first.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Since I heard the answer of run away, I'm gonna do that. So I'm Bailey. I'm just gonna move back and cover Karen to make sure he can get out too.
Yeah. Karen is badly damaged, but not so much that he's wrist torpor right now. If you took a couple of extra hits, though, you think he'd be in trouble.
Yes. So.
Okay. Bug Boy still wants to punch things.
I bet he does.
Oh, hey, look. There's a Julian right in front of him.
That is very true. There's a me.
So it's gonna hit you.
Yeah. Or a defensive one. Unless you get a bad roll, I'm typically gonna get hit.
Yep.
But I am the gangrel, so I will spend the blood to use resilience.
Yep. You can also roll a dodge.
That is true. Since I was
Okay,
just
'cause you
retreating,
haven't-
can I roll the dodge? Since
Yeah, you can roll a dodge. It's basically your dex plus athletics.
Still times 2 or just.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's because there is dodging is usually your defense doubled, but as a dice pool. But I'm just gonna say, roll me dex athletics, and then double that dice pool.
Yeah, okay. All right, dex is
I
2,
guess.
my athletics is 2, so that's 8.
You'd also, if you had celerity, you could add that as well.
Nope,
But,
look at that. It's out to get me.
oh dear. Okay. It doesn't hit you as badly this time.
Still spend that vitae just to
how-
make sure I stay
yeah.
up.
How much resilience do you have?
I only have 1, so I can only reduce it by 1.
Okay. This time I only nicks you. Nicks your throat. By 1.
Wait, so it only did 1 damage then?
It only does 1 damage, accounting for your resilience. It would have dealt.
Dealt 2.
No, it would have dealt 3. Sorry, so you take an extra 2 damage.
Okay, so 2 more basher then. Okay, now I'm starting to take penalties.
No, you're on penalty time. You've also done your job.
Yep.
So at this point, Isabella, you're being held telekinetically by something. Your beast is just kind of thrashing around in the air.
You guys are no fun.
I thought we're gangrel. The idea is to survive. Attacking
If
something.
you tell Karen that, if you come out of frenzy and tell Karen that, he will happily throw you back into the bug boy.
All right, I guess I'll roll to break the frenzy. Or -2, right?
Karen is a man more than happy to meet people halfway.
Well, I know more about it now. 2 successes.
Okay, you break the frenzy.
Fuck. So we running?
Well, you're currently in telekinetically being controlled. Julian is currently still in this thing's path. He's been gradually pushed back down the hallway, constantly being gouged open. Blood splattering the area. You can literally see it when blood splatters on it. It literally just kind of absorbs them. It absorbs the blood that lands on its teeth. It just kind of sinks in. Blood sinks into its flesh, and it feels renewed, invigorated. As opposed to yourself, while you're getting slower, it's getting faster, and it's already pretty fast and strong. So I assume you're gonna run.
Well, is he attached to it, or is it just chasing him?
It's just chasing him right now.
Okay.
Well,
I mean, am I still being telekinetically controlled? Because I can't really do anything if he's still controlling me.
No. When Karen notices you come out of frenzy, he's going to drop you. We're going to drop out of the initiative because all of you are retreating. Unfortunately, someone who ran away was doing something useful as you're dropped. And Karen says to his sworn of the axe friend, "Get back to the van." You can literally hear the van swerve around the corner, being driven by Cohen.
Okay.
The cavalry is here, and it's here to ride you away.
Does Julian look like he can run?
Yeah, I could easily run. I'm just hurt.
But I'm going to require you. I'm going to require everybody to make athletics checks.
Alrighty. Can I jump it? Do I have to run? Can I jump it? Just use my strength instead.
Is this a speed thing? Because I have fleet of foot and parkour.
Oh, fleet of foot, absolutely. Yep, that adds. I think you get an extra dice for every dot you have in there.
Yep.
It's going to be strength athletics. It's an all-out run.
Is it strength or is it dex?
For straight running, it's strength.
Okay.
For
so that's
dodging
4,
and for like
5.
finesse, like acrobatics, it's dex. But if you were just like looking to jump, just make a jump as far as you can or run as fast as you can, it's strength. This thing gets dice pools.
I'm just checking something real quick.
Oh, please love me, dice
Okay.
gods. Well, they at least took attention to me.
One success.
Okay, this thing is. Oh. So you get a success. They are competing with you. Oh god. Please tell me somebody got 3 successes or more. I hate all of you. No! So Isabella.
Yep.
It beat you by 2 successes, so I'm going to have you
Great.
take 2 bashing as it rips into with one of its appendages.
Great.
It's just a 2 bashing.
All right.
And Julian, how many successes did you get? Julian?
I only got 1.
Okay, so it's going to do another 2 bashing to you. It's actually going to hit you as you get into the vehicle. You literally get in his car and is just like, fuck it, and it's going to drive away. Karen gets in safely. He actually got a pretty good roll because he focuses on this sort of thing. It's almost like it's his job.
Guy in the van.
But as its form begins to retreat into a more human-looking form as you drive away and close the vans. And you can hear it hiss, but it's almost like it hisses in your head. A strange sensation.
I don't need psychic bugs.
Is going to come over all of you. And I'm going to need to check what the hell this actually does.
Okay.
Fucking were bugs. Nobody wants
Were
that.
bug.
Nobody wants were bugs.
Okay, I am at 8 bashing now because I want to spend a vitae again to use resilience to hold this back. Seriously, I just healed all this bashing and now I get 8.
You are the sadness right now.
But I am doing my job. I am making sure I am taking the hits.
Yep.
I don't really need to be protected.
Again, I was told to do it. This is not me going.
Fair. You did immediately enter frenzy on the big bug thing that then immediately did 5 damage to you.
Wait, it did do 5 damage to me. It did 5 damage to him.
That's true. Well, yeah. Imagine if someone weren't there with you, protecting you, would have done 5 damage to you.
That's fine. Getting eaten by a bug monster is literally better than being bloodbound to that stupid clown. I don't think you fully understand Isabel. I don't think you fully understand Isabella's mental state right now.
Okay. No, you all feel the sense of hunger wash over you.
Oh, fuck.
It is brief and it's significant. I'm going to need all of you to roll Resolve plus Composure. Julian, you have 4 blood, which means you're hungry.
No, I have 3 because I used resilience to make sure I didn't take 2. I only took 1.
Okay, starving is 2, so
actually,
you're not.
3. I have 3 twos because I used one for claws and one for the extra dice.
It's sad days.
Yes. So roll our willpower minus what?
It's not your willpower.
That resolve composure is willpower.
It's resolve plus composure. Yeah, but willpower is mutable.
That is true.
So if you're hungry, which is for a few vitae, you roll resolve plus composure minus 2 dice.
Shit.
All right. So 2 dice to roll. I mean, no, 4 dice to roll. I have 6.
And yeah, actually, you're wounded in your last 3 health boxes, aren't you?
Oh, does that count against me too?
That also counts against you. So you're not going to take minus 2 dice. You're going to take minus 3 dice.
Yes.
And actually, you are wounded as well, Isabella. You're going to lose only a single dice.
Okay, so 3 total?
So yeah,
Because I'm... Okay.
there's a lot of modifiers for frenzy, and none of them are nice.
Fucking great.
Also,
Nope,
do any
that's
of you
failed.
have? Yeah, I don't believe
Yes.
any of you have tempted.
I do. God damn it!
Oh yeah, you're gonna lose even more dice.
I still get a success though, even -1 if I took away one of my successes. It's still 1.
Okay, so you're reduced to 2 dice because you got tempted.
Yeah, but I already rolled. It's like, damn it.
Okay. So
Nah, I should have blue that earlier. I was like, oh yeah, I should talk to my touchstone. Forgot about
yeah,
it.
so you get Julian, you push the beast back again, but it's growing stronger.
So tempted ×2. Yay.
Yep. Tempted -2. The beast is slowly gnawing away at that cage. Like it is getting far too close to getting out.
Oh, wait a
getting out
minute.
of its
If this
cage.
is... Wait, if this is a... if this is to roll against frenzying, then we get +2 to resist that because of the coil.
No, we don't. Not yet. At least I don't think we do.
Yeah, we
I
do.
think
On hold on, let me find it. Yeah, stir the beast. When the original goal is no longer let's see, that's it. Using stir the beast as a reflective action, it can be used to avoid involuntary frenzy.
yes. So you can push yourself into. So you can use Stir the Beast because you know you're going to like that hunger pushes you into frenzy very quickly. But you can use Stir the Beast to alter what the beast is going to do. Right now, it's about to jump on one of the kindred present, either Karen or Julian. Julian also needs to roll for frenzy.
I need.
He succeeds.
Does
So,
it?
yeah.
Okay. Does it look like this thing's chasing us?
No. I mean, you've closed the doors to the van, so the only person I'd be able to see would be Cohen, and he's just driving away very quickly. But when you last saw it, it was and you began to drive away and began to close the doors to the van, as you were speeding off as fast as a van can. It began to shift very quickly into a more human form. It did not seem to chase you, but it did seem to do something. And that appears to be what's causing your frenzy. You can shift the purpose of the frenzy, which means you'll probably end up damaging the van, but probably nothing more. So you won't cause actual significant harm to the kindred here.
Right. No, I'm just thinking in terms of like jumping out of the van and just running. Not back towards it, but just like running away in a different direction.
I suppose that depends on how much Isabella cares about the potential for mortal collaterals. A frenzy in kindred doesn't really necessarily matter what the purpose of the frenzy. If it runs into somebody in its way, then it will tear them down in order to accomplish whatever the beast is trying to do.
I'm just trying to think.
Because you can change the purpose of the beast to almost.
No, I
anything.
know. I'm just thinking about like specific. So there's no. I don't know, because my thought would just be to like break the window.
Oh, could you tell your beast to literally stand still? The stir of the beast, like don't do anything.
No, the beast needs to do something. To tell it to do that would be giving it an order, which is different.
Oh.
Um,
Assuming there's like a back window to this van, because most vans have a back window, so I could just punch it.
it has a back
pay
door,
for it
but it's
later.
a window.
Oh,
Almost like it doesn't. Almost like the van. Almost like the van was picked, so people couldn't be seen riding in the back of it.
that's fair.
Modern conveniences are great for maintaining the masquerade. But you can punch the door if you want.
Yeah, I guess I'll just do that.
Okay. You start punching the door. Fortunately, it's locked. You end up bashing the door in pretty badly. But after a few minutes of just repeatedly bashing in the door and ripping it open with your claws, creating a nasty draft, you will come out of your frenzy. And you have shards of metals. You have shards of metal underneath your fingertips that
Great.
have dug into your skin quite unceremoniously.
That's fine. This is fine.
Fortunately, you gain no condition from coming out of frenzy. You have resolved your frenzy, so you gain no condition from it.
Okay.
Now that you're out of frenzy and you all have a moment to breathe, figuratively speaking, you have a moment to sort of consider what you just encountered as you're driving back. Eventually, Cohen begins to slow down the vehicle, begins to return to a more regular pace. He looks at... You're not entirely sure what he was saying while you're in frenzying. You're a bit more lucid and frenzied than most kindred. You imagine he was swearing and getting very aggravated at the fact that the van was being ripped open in a very busy city.
Whatever, it's my van.
He just says, "Is everything fine back there now? Do I have to turn this van around?"
And go where?
I don't think jokes are good at this moment. We have a monster roaming in the city.
With a badass exoskeleton.
Yes, we have something of a possession on our hands, and quite a mean one.
Well, I mean, we know a lot about it now. We know it has an exoskeleton. We know that it's able to grow legs. We know that it's terrible. We know that it can mind control. And we know that it can morph back into a person shape. And we know that it's really, really hard to damage. So that's all fun information, but also useful information.
It's a hunger spirit.
Is that a thing?
Yes, it is very much a thing.
There are many spirits across the Vale. Many of them embody aspects of not just the natural world, but also the civilized world. Hunger is one that applies across all spectrums. Given how many kindred in this city, it doesn't really surprise me that one made its way across the shadow.
So how do we get rid of it?
I was surprised at its strength. I don't think it's entirely completed its possession, but he looks down and pauses. It would be far too dangerous for us to combat there. It seems to have some sort of tie to that location. I think because of the fact that it was summoned there, that it has its origins there, that it is somehow empowered there as well. It is not uncommon for summoned spirits to be particularly powerful in the location of their summoning.
Makes sense. What if we just destroyed the house?
You would destroy the location, but you'd also destroy the potential for us to claim it as a nest.
I mean, that's true. I'm just talking options right now. Or even to try to lure it out by no longer or breaking its tie to that place. I wonder if that's possible.
You would weaken it, but not destroy it. If it has already anchored itself to a human, then it will be able to sustain itself, irrespective of whether or not the house is there. The building at this point is merely a haven for it, a place for it to take its body and rest, and a defensible location for it should it be attacked.
Clearly.
Are you all right?
I'll live.
He looks to you and Julian. I have a sizable herd. So long as you do not bring them to harm, I would permit you to feed upon them this. I would permit you to feed upon them this once.
Much appreciated.
Thank you.
I do not like to see fellow dragons in such a state, particularly when it is my responsibility to protect you both.
It's hard to hit.
Oh no, continue.
No, I was going to say it's hard to damage, but it isn't invulnerable. I heard it. I didn't hurt it a lot. I didn't hurt it nearly as much as I should have. But it can be hurt. So if we had more people, were able to get it away from its defensible position, maybe we could figure out some weaknesses. I think it could be killed.
It could be killed, but I think if you destroy the host, it may simply look for another.
So how do we send it back?
Yeah, since when did you become such an expert? I used to be a practitioner.
Huh.
It's not uncommon for us.
Oh, well before. But spirits embody concepts. Concepts have their opposites for anathema. Spirits have certain tics and behaviors they have to perform. This makes them predictable. They also have certain concepts that deal direct harm to them. Hunger spirits. This one appears to resemble a tick and us in its feeding patterns. So maybe, well, something the opposite of what would you consider the conceptual opposite of gluttony?
It would be, the word come to mind is satisfaction, contentment.
Famine.
Asceticism. That was my thought. Yes. It appears to have influence over the hunger of others.
Right.
I felt it. Considering how you both reacted, you all felt it. So we would need to find something that embodied that conceptual opposite that could bring it harm, even in a host body. At the very least, it would drive it away, make it somebody else's problem. The Crone and the Lancair both possess magics that could likely force it back across the veil.
When he brings it up, Julian's eyes turn over to Moreau, and goes, "I believe you know one."
Yeah. He needs his shit up. And plus, he already kind of knows about this place anyway, so it's not like we would be introducing more people to it.
That depends.
He doesn't know about the exact location, but he knows about its existence.
Yes, I would not like the Lancair to claim this place, but it already exists within Ordo territory. Although no particular Ordo has claimed Norbury.
Well, I mean, I could talk to Joshua about it and see if he, if nothing else, conceptually would know how to, if there is some sort of a spell or a ritual or whatever it is they do that could defeat it, or could at least weaken it enough that we could do damage to it.
I have seen a crone fling a spirit from their host before.
I don't know any crone.
I am no practitioner of blood sorcery, but I do know that the process is a complex one. It would take time and a specific set of circumstances, and likely a restrained host body. You could bring your friend into this. I would personally advise against it, but then I have never been a fan of the Lancair and their Bible thumping.
And to put things in perspective, the Lancair have been disrupted by recent events. That may involve me and a few others.
Well, I would advise looking into the matter of spiritual cosmology further. You may be able to find something out. If you wish, I can help you, but as a sworn of the axe, my duties may take me elsewhere.
That's
So
fair.
I cannot promise to be available, but I can promise to try.
And this is Kern or CERN. Is it Kern or CERN? Because it's a C.
Karen.
Karen.
It's hard to see.
Hard C. Okay. Karen, is he the one talking?
Yes.
Okay.
Cohen is like, what the hell? How is this guy have noticed? He's baffled and a bit insulted that he's being shown up.
Yeah, but then Cohen, I believe Cohen's one of the Dying Light, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then Julie would go over to Cohen and go, could you get one of your associates to help us?
Oh, of course. I know of one particular kindred who is a noteworthy expert on the matter of spirits and their cosmology and various systems of belief that have spawned them into being.
Worth talking to him then.
Yes. I suppose I shall pay them a visit and see what they can dig up for us. You need not worry about it, Can. Just continue on your duties.
That's not sketchy.
It's a bit sketchy. You want to roll me wits empathy?
Do I have empathy? I don't think I have any empathy.
Yeah, we both don't have it.
Feelings are dumb.
The feelings are dumb and for nice people.
I just want to fucking Frankenstein that bug monster.
Oh.
And y'all telekinesing me away. Nope, that's a big nope.
You can actually also morally intelligence a cult for that, because that is very odd.
Oh, I know way more of that.
I could do that better. I could.
So your empathy is sad, and you do not know the nice people, the nice man's feelings.
Hi, I'm a scientist. 2 successes.
Okay.
Only one.
Okay. There is no coil that allows one to that is tied to the act of telekinesis. Not one that directly allows for it. After all, the coils are internal. They relate specifically to the kindred condition. The kindred condition does not involve flying people around like ragdolls.
Right.
What it does remind you of is a very rare coil that allows one to utilize mortal supernatural abilities and mortal magics.
Oh, that one.
You can't recall its name. It's very rare, but you know that it exists.
Huh.
And you know that it's probably the most likely answer to this question.
And that makes more sense why he has said he was a practitioner. He really was one. Because you're not supposed to be able to do that other stuff once you become a kindred. You lose that connection.
You lose that your model spark dies when you die. Being brought half back to life doesn't bring it back.
Right.
It's kind of a sad fact of many kindred that once had those gifts. Not this man though.
Fucking magic.
Well, technically, we do magic. It's just it. It's like key in Dungeons and Dragons. It's all on the inside.
It's quite rare because it's it's rare because it's generally considered quite situational, and and it's considered that even if you knew the core, you would then need to undergo a whole another topic of study in acquiring the supernatural ability if you didn't possess one when you were alive.
Right.
So it is quite niche, but when it's useful, well, you've seen how useful and dangerous it can be. It's a very unpredictable coil. But yes, you're all driven back to the. Actually, you're not driven back. Cohen will start giving Cohen directions. Cohen is actually on his phone, which looks quite how to say it's quite the juxtaposition with his shaggy appearance and him using a modern phone. He begins texting with several people, and he will direct Cohen to one of the many universities within Ordo Domain to provide everybody the opportunity to feed and recover at least some of their blood. Is there anything anybody else wishes to add or do in this scene?
Not at the moment.
Not at the moment. There's definitely books a lot of you wish to hit, though.
That is true, but not right now.
All of the books. Frenzy on the books. Hit all of them.
No, I gotta go find a guy to fix my van.
Oh, you destroyed your own van. Oh, I feel bad. I feel bad.
I mean,
forgot it was bad.
That honestly tracks, considering this character.
Yeah, she's mutilated several vans.
But I mean, really, to be fair, the fact that like I probably transport potentially dangerous animals in this van all the time, wouldn't be super unusual for it to look like some tiger freaked the fuck out on the back of my van.
Yeah, it will make for a good excuse when the police inevitably show up and start asking questions.
Yeah, they told me this tiger was trained. Turned out it was not.
Yeah.
One of those things I wish I'd known before I put it in the van.
It was trained, just not particularly well.
Trained, sedated, same thing.
Yeah. But yes, and I think with that, Colonel allowed you to feed. Is feeding seems to be ironically seems to be it seems to be mainly students and alumni from these universities. Most of them are youngish, early 20s to late 20s, maybe even early 30s for a few of them. Mainly campus staff and residents.
Okay.
And their blood tastes quite nice. It's rich with the excitement of youth and
Parents' money.
parents. They wish. And a sense of ambition, that sort of sky's the limit approach to academia. That sense of I'm going to discover something. We're going to push the world forward. It's a sort of refreshing taste. You haven't really tasted this in a while. You've tasted joy. You've tasted the empty happiness of entertainment. But not the sense of earnesty that these people seem to possess in their blood.
That's cute.
It is nostalgic in a sense. You too, Julian. You're able to sate your bloodlust without succumbing to the hunger frenzy again, which is useful because you are close. You are very close. But with that, we can end the scene. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. Also, I apologize to the players for almost killing you again.
That's
two
fine.
scenes in a row.
I mean, I kind of knew what I was getting into when I attacked it, but I wanted to see what would happen.
That is a very, very honest means of engaging in a scientific method. I respect the fuck out of that.
It's the shark logic. I don't know what this is until I've tasted it.
And I think we will end on sharks. Goodbye, everybody.